listening. Give us a minute. There we go. All right, cool. So welcome. I'm
Thank you very
beyond.
much.
What's that?
I said, thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, I'm beyond excited to talk to you, Kelley. I've never, okay, so I first of all, everybody who's listening, anybody who's listening, I don't know Kelley at all. Never talked to her.
Yeah.
Which is definitely what I normally do. However, what I've never done is just interview someone about the specific program, one specific program, and I've never interviewed someone about a specific program that I personally never did. So I'm really beyond excited about this because I have so much curiosity around it. It's insane. So welcome and thank you. I really appreciate you hopping on here. So really cool. And just so you guys know, Kelley gets nothing out of this. So really she's a flipping rock star. So, thank you. Although I will offer some other things, whatever you need from me.
Yeah, it's an opportunity that, I recognize that I can't keep to myself. And for someone who didn't have gut issues prior to being a part of the test group, I had amazing results overall. And I mean, it's all the more reason for me to want to share this story.
I think it's awesome. And you have a big heart, obviously, for doing this for us. And but let's get started real quick. I just want to know a little bit about your background. Who is Kelley? Where does she live? Who does she live with? Like, what's your situation? Sure. Can you tell us that?
Absolutely. So my name's Kelley Walker, and I am a hotel general manager by day and a wellness advocate, every other moment of my day. I have a family, married, been with my partner for 25 years, and I have 2 children, 18 and 16. My daughter's birthday today, actually. She'll be 16 today. Woo!
Happy birthday!
Yeah, and we have a camp in a rural setting here. We're in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, Canada. And an hour and a half north, we're off grid. We have a beautiful place on the lake, and that's where we spend a lot of our downtime. So just helps us to rejuvenate and recharge.
That's amazing.
So that's a little bit about me.
Oh my gosh, that sounds lovely. Do both of your kids live with you right now?
Yes, they do. Yes.
Okay.
One is graduating high school this year, and then my daughter being 16, she still has a couple more years. So yeah.
So they're both in high school. I wasn't sure if one was already off after high school, but that's cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. So thank you again. And let's get started and just dive into the program. So what Kelley's on here is to talk to us about 4-week gut protocol, which just launched today. However, Kelley was in one of the original test groups. And can you just tell me how you got into a test group?
Sure. So I guess I like to storytell a little bit because I like to personalize it and help people understand who I am and where I came from and how I am where I am today, especially within Beachbody. But I was really seeking out a wellness journey over the past year, and I really wanted to focus on myself. And coaching wasn't really of interest to me because, I'm really good at giving everything I have to everybody else and not so much to me. So that's how I started with Beachbody. But I really wanted access to the 645 program back in July. And I was told that in order to be able to do that, I needed to become a coach. I was like, oh, they got me. So I had no intention of leading people through the process. I simply wanted access to the 645 program. So of course I went through the program, but through my journey, I started in April of 2021 and finished up with 645. I want to say it was late October, early November, because I was a little bit behind with summer and business and things like that. But anywho, I just could not believe the results that Beachbody provided me. I had been fighting to lose the baby weight, we'll call it, for 15 years following my second born, who's 16 today, like I mentioned. And I just transformed my body, but in addition, my mind and my soul as well. So 3 months into my coaching, where I said, I'm not selling, I am focusing on me, and I just want to be a part of 645. I went from that to, I need to tell the world. People need to understand that we've made it difficult for way too long, and I need people to get in on this experience. So I started, sharing my story, authentically sharing my story just through social media, and that's how I started to, build my coaching business. And I sold or Achieve Success Club for the 3 months in 2021, and I earned my place in a test group. So we fast forward to, we'll say January 28th, and I get a late notice that they're going to invite some of the Canadian coaches who had earned their Success Club status in 2021 to be a part of the 4-week gut protocol. But my mind was not, my mind in terms of success and how to achieve it was not nutrition focused. I've always been about the workouts and the pressing play, and the showing up and all of that. And so when I was told that I was chosen for the 4-week gut protocol, I think I almost passed out because whew, like I mean, I just don't spend a lot of time in the kitchen. When I do spend time in the kitchen, I feel like I'm a good cook and all. But I just don't feel like I have a lot of time and patience, we'll say, for the kitchen. So I was freaking out, literally.
Oh man.
Yeah. And, but once the initial shock wore off, I realized that because it made me so uncomfortable, it was exactly what I needed to participate in to be able to take my wellness journey to the next level. So I went for it. I did have the opportunity to bow out and, be considered for a future opportunity because I was given the late notice. But kind of hearing Autumn's advice that, life happens and we have to make accommodations and we have to work through the hard moments. And it was the best feedback ever. So that's how I ended up here today.
That is awesome. So many golden nuggets, like because it made me so uncomfortable, I knew I needed to do it, right? I
Yes.
love that. So good. And that you needed to tell the world. I love it. Tell me what, I'm just curious, what was the first program you started with before 645?
So I started off with the clean week, and then I went to 21-day fix,
Okay.
21-day fix real time, and then 645.
Got it. Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah.
So now you are in it. You decide, you made a commitment, you're scared, really scared about the nutrition piece, because that's what it all is. So tell me, what were you expecting after, I mean, you read all the material, you took in everything that they told you, and right before you started, what were you thinking? Were you more nervous? Like, what were you thinking after reading everything?
I had a lot of anxiety in my first week. I didn't have anxiety leading up to that first week. I was really cool, calm, and collected and just really moving forward at a pretty good rate, but it really made me anxious. I had plans the weekend before it started. So I had been notified, I think it was on Thursday. I received the materials on Friday, but I had plans that weekend to celebrate a friend's 40th birthday. So, the grocery shopping and the preparation and all the things that you would want to be able to do to be successful in week 1, I already knew I couldn't achieve. So I was really anxious. But nonetheless, we moved forward. And so by Monday was day 1, I had to improvise a lot. I didn't, quite follow through exactly the way the program the way it's written. But I built on the week from there. And to be honest with you, I was so stressed by the Wednesday that I cheated. And I actually am not really a cheater, but I was like, oh my goodness, I am freaking out. I just need to decompress. And my dad had invited us over for dinner. I had, I think, 4 slices of pizza. I had about 4 chicken wings, and I had a half a bottle of wine. Okay. Whew, decompressed. I was like I got this now. I feel good. I can handle it. So legit, like that's really what happened in my week one. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like I was rocking it. I just had to let that stress out. And unfortunately, I did it in, um, you know, a counterproductive way. But anyways, it is what it is.
But I
And in
love
my
that. I love to hear this though. I saw your results and I'm about to share your results, but I love that you're being so real. And how many of us have had a not perfect start and then quit? And
yes,
you're the story. You're showing us you don't need a perfect start to
right.
kick it up. You can kick it up anytime, right?
Yep.
So I love this. Keep going.
Oh, awesome. Well, I have goosebumps right now because when you were just sharing that with me, it made me think of my whole like life really in the last 15 years of my life specifically, where I would start and stop and start and stop because I didn't feel like I was perfect enough,
Right.
and that's what Beachbody taught me, is that you don't have to be perfect in this process. You simply have to be consistent, and you need to continue to show up, and bad days are okay. So I had that one bad day, we'll say, and I just gained my inspiration from that moment forward. And in my first week, if I'm not mistaken, I had lost 3 pounds in that first week, even though I had a big, faux pas in that in the middle of week one. I still achieved inches lost and pounds lost. And when I looked at the comparison photos, day one and day seven, I was shocked. And
Mm.
so again, more inspiration to keep going. And Autumn really inspired me. I felt privileged to be here, and I wanted to do her proud. I wanted to show her that I showed up, not only for myself, but for her too. She put a lot of work into this program. And so, yeah, I was super, super motivated to continue. So that's week one. Let me know if you want me to continue into week two.
Well, that's okay. Hold on a second. So you said you wanted to do her proud. I think that's great because honestly, I personally have been a coach for a long time. And you know, I don't I guess I forgot that that's how some people feel when they have a coach. They want to make their coach proud of them. Do you know what I mean? And I think
Yes.
that's really impactful to remember. I think that's great. And Elise said, yes, I'm reading her comment. Yes, you don't need a perfect start. You don't. And I thought about this when you were saying that, is really, you just need to start more times than you quit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And if you start
Yes.
more times than you quit, then you're going to be successful.
It's so true. Yeah, absolutely.
So
Yes.
that was the first week, and you lost a couple pounds and a little bit, an inch or so, you said, off of your waist. Is
I
that?
had lost, forgive me, I didn't bring all of my
Oh, that's
weekly
okay.
stats, but I definitely lost around my waist and my bust and my hips
Oh, that's
primarily.
awesome.
Yes.
So
And
the first week was kind of like, I'm doing what I can with what's in my house and not being fully prepared with a meal plan. What did you do for your second week?
so I had bought a whole bunch of strange ingredients to me, things that I would never have picked up at the grocery store before. Again, just having a routine for myself in the kitchen. I stuck to the same ingredients for years, and I was able to lose 30 pounds with that approach, and it was great. But I hadn't lost any weight from September to February 1st. I hadn't lost any weight. I had still, changed the shape of my body, and my mental stamina was really strengthened during that period of time. But I wasn't losing any more weight, and I still felt like I had inches to shed still, and I felt like there was still at least 10 more pounds to lose. So I had it in my mind that was, something I'd like to work towards. So carrying into week two, I was super focused, really dialed in, and I started to experiment with the ingredients I had. And Autumn really suggested that we try new things, and I really opened up my mind and I did just that. So I learned that I really enjoy, other things that I had never tried before. And I got creative in the kitchen, like for breakfast, lunch and dinner. And I was, like presenting or creating photo worthy meals. It was really fun. So then I started, setting a little plate, and I was, creating just a fun atmosphere for my meals at the dinner table. In week 2, what I noticed by following the plan, I had in week 2 would typically have been my PMS week. I had 0 PMS. I had 0 weight gain, no bloating whatsoever, which and no mood swings. Like all of that was like gone, and I never knew that was even a possibility in life. So,
That's incredible.
I always experience bloating during that time of the month, always. And I would definitely have gained 3 to 5 pounds in that first couple of days, every single time. I just knew, and it wasn't even something I worried about anymore. And the mood swings was huge. Like, when I PMS, my mood swings, like I have snakes coming out, these curls turn into like little snakes and such. Just for about 1 hour, but I never experienced a mood swing at all. And so yet again, in week 2, I was blown away by even more inches lost and more pounds lost. But now the transformation in the other areas with the reduced bloating to, I had no bloating, the mood swing change and all those other hidden benefits that I didn't even know were going to be a possibility with just eating a better, more well-balanced diet.
Wow. That's incredible. People are commenting. They're saying, wow, how nice. No PMS. I want a world where there's no PMS. Right, Elise? Yeah, Kristen, I agree.
Oh, I didn't mention Cravings, I don't think. Cravings came off in week 2.
They stopped or I'm sorry.
They stopped.
They stopped.
So after Christmas, where, we were eating lots of treats and such, I had a really hard time with sugar cravings. And by week 2 of the gut protocol, I was no longer craving sugar. I have had sugar in my coffee, since I started drinking coffee, which is a long time ago. And I no longer drink sugar in my coffee. And I have tried that so many times and been unsuccessful, to the point that if I wanted to eliminate coffee from my diet, I would just cut it off cold turkey. Whereas now I can have coffee. I'm using unsweetened almond milk. So
do you drink coffee every day on here or no?
The recommendation is 1 to 3 cups a week.
Right. Is that what you do?
I had it every day. I think it was the only, accommodation that I made. Mm-hmm. It's like this program, if you could feel your very best that you never even knew possible, you will have to make sacrifices, right?
Yeah.
And you then have to decide if that's something that you would like to entertain. So
yeah. I totally get what you're saying. So, and using unsweetened almond milk would be a huge change for me too.
Yes. Yeah. And so I carried that practice forward into my life today as well.
Did you also use Energize while you were on here?
I didn't use Energize, but you can use Energize once a day.
Okay. So that's what, So you had your caffeine through your coffee. I know that she was saying that you can use Energize and that would be your caffeine as well. Did you use Shakeology every day?
Yes, I did. I used vegan Shakeology on a daily basis.
Okay. And you had your probiotics and your digestive enzymes as well. So you had the 3 core supplements, I want to say.
Yes, I did.
Okay. And all right. And did you drink Recover at all when you were on this?
I did not.
Okay. That was the other question. And guys, I know that Recover, you can use it, but I think there's stipulations to it and it needs to be vegan as well, the plant-based, right?
Correct.
Okay. So I quickly watched as much as I could last night before I went to bed.
Yeah.
that I had some knowledge.
Wonderful.
Um, go ahead.
I circled back to those videos a few times as I was building my understanding of how to just prepare food differently. So yeah, keep them at your fingertips.
So tell me, a lot of people, so first, before we go, I want to share your results, if that's okay.
Yes.
Let me double check. Is this the right picture? Yes, this is the right picture. Okay, so this is Kelley's 28-day results with the 4-week gut protocol. Now tell me, what is the difference between these two pictures?
So I am down 9 inches and 11.4 pounds in these two photos. So where I notice the most is in my actual gut. Do you see in my day 1 photo the bloating? And I had lost, like I had mentioned, 30 pounds already. And when I saw the comparison, it was like I was kind of annoyed that my day 1 photo was like that. I'm like, why am I like that right now? I work so hard, And then to see my day 28, I'm like, wow. So I didn't feel like I had gut issues, but look at the transformation. So clearly I did, and I just didn't realize it.
How much more comfortable are those pants in the second picture versus the first picture?
Well, they were a brand new purchase for me, but
Oh,
in hindsight, I could have purchased the size down. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
I know how I
So-
personally feel when my workout pants are tight. Like, I actually feel almost nauseous to my stomach when my pants are tight around the waist. And if I'm
Yes.
bloated, like, it actually hurts. And,
Like, I wouldn't have worn them really following this photo because I didn't like the way they shaped me, right? I wouldn't
Yes, I
have
know what you mean.
continued wearing the new pants.
Yeah.
But now I wear them. Yes.
These are incredible. I'm so excited for you. So did you go shopping after your 4 weeks?
Oh my goodness. No, but I am needing to go shopping. I have about like just a handful of outfits that I can wear right now. So it's almost like I have to put out a public announcement. If you see me wearing the same thing day over day over day, it's because I've transformed myself and I'm working at it. I'm joining on Beachbody, help fund my new account for my clothing, my new wardrobe.
Beachbody should have, I'm going to take it down. Beachbody should have like a swap, like a clothing swap. I know one of our coaches, she used to do clothing swaps at events at her church. And then all of her customers would come in and swap out the sizes. It's so great.
That's a great idea.
So, okay, there's a lot of questions we have about how, you're a busy woman. You're at work, I'm assuming, a good amount of time
Yes.
managing a hotel, and you have children, a relationship, a home. Did you keep up? Like, how did you keep up? How hard was it to figure out the meal? So, like, specifically, did you ever do Ultimate Reset?
I didn't.
No. Okay.
No.
So that one is Ultimate Reset. You are told exactly what to eat for every meal, and you're cooking
Right.
all the time. You've done the containers kind of prior to this, or
Yeah.
no?
No, actually, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't. What did you do
That-
before this? Any of them?
No, I did my own thing. I did my own thing
But
because
this is good because you have nothing to compare it to. So tell me how, a lot of people who are going to be listening to this, they never did any of our nutrition plans either. So tell me about the, like, what kind of groove did you get into when it comes to the meal planning and what did you find any kind of tricks that you have, or systems or organization that made you figure this out to fit into your routine?
So for anyone who's just starting out, I strongly encourage you to get uncomfortable and learn the information that's provided to you by Beachbody. It will change your life. It's going to help you with your wellness journey right from day 1. Whereas for me, I waited, 9 months to be able to learn the tools that I could have had at my fingertips on day 1. of my journey. So I just encourage people to get out of their comfort zones and don't be afraid to learn what's been provided to us. Sometimes we want to stick to what we know because we don't have to take that time to learn something new. But I'm just, again, suggesting that people do take that time. It'll be worth every minute that you put into it. In terms of a comfort level, my husband's pretty creative. And so I just really expressed a lot about how I was feeling so that he could support me. I printed all of the documents that we were referencing throughout the 4-week gut protocol. And I basically posted them all over my kitchen. So wherever I would prep certain foods is where those, those meal
The food
meal
list?
lists, the food lists would get posted. So I had one beside the stove. I had one above my coffee maker. I had most of them above my cutting board where I would food prep. So then I tried to think about the container system and really understanding. So on your Beachbody app, you will have the containers transferred onto your profile. So you'll know how many containers of each to consume each day. So then it was really trying to get familiar with when to eat what, because, you'll have, perhaps 6 to 8 green containers of vegetables to consume in a day, but only 2 containers of fruits to consume in a day, as an example. So obviously it's easier to consume 2 than it is to consume 8. So then you have to plan accordingly. So if you try to leave all of your vegetables to 1 or 2 meals, it's really difficult to eat 4 cups of vegetables at lunch or 4 cups of vegetables for dinner on top of the other containers. So then you start to get creative. So that came in week 3 for me. So as an example, like I would typically eat protein and fruit for breakfast. That's pre-gut protocol. Whereas now I'm incorporating vegetables into my breakfast.
What's a typical breakfast meal that you like with the vegetables?
I really enjoyed, what I did was just saute up like broccoli, cauliflower. I would even do mushrooms or onions. I would crack a couple of eggs and kind of like an omelet, but instead of an omelet, I just mixed it all together. And I would cook either turkey bacon or chicken bacon, depending on which one you prefer. And I would have that as well. And then I would have a side of fruit.
Okay. So yeah, I would call that a scramble, I think.
Yeah.
That's what I would call it. But yeah, I love that idea. And did you saute your vegetables every morning, or did you make like one big batch of sauteed vegetables and then just pour it in?
So I would say that's where I'm still growing and learning, is in the food preparation, but absolutely that's very critical, is that you're cooking enough to have a future meal or future meals, right?
Right.
That's ideal. I was prepping, not cooking multiples, but I was preparing multiples, so I could just quickly grab a container from the fridge and then saute it up. So it took the guesswork out in terms of portion control and things like that.
That's a great idea. So you did a lot of cutting and of the food, like fresh vegetables and stuff. When you went grocery shopping, you'd bring it home, you'd cut it all up. That's a great idea.
Yes,
I love it.
and I was just putting it either, because you can only have so many containers in your cupboard, but I would either put it in the containers that I did have, and if I ran out, then I was putting it in baggies in whatever serving size was suggested for that particular food type.
That's a great idea. I love it. So what about your, how many times for you personally? Because I know this changes for each person, but for you, I'd like to know, how many meals did you eat every day?
I would say on average for me, it was 5.
And that included one of your meals, a shake, right?
Correct. Yes. And for my shake, I started to add seeds and vegetables. So I was doing cauliflower rice or broccoli rice, or spinach was another popular one. And I always added fruit to that too.
Okay. So
Yeah.
your shake, you use unsweetened almond milk or no?
Unsweetened almond milk is what I use. Yes.
Okay, so you do load it up. Somebody was asking, what do you add in your shake? So you add some veggies, fruit, and sometimes seeds to your shake as well.
Yes, which I wasn't eating any seeds prior to this experience. It just wasn't something I really thought of. So pumpkin seeds and, almonds, sunflower seeds, like whatever your walnuts, so now I have, all these seeds in my house that I'm picking at, on an ongoing basis. It's really kind of cool.
I love it.
Just
I love it.
things that you get set in your ways, and this experience really helps you get out of your comfort zone.
So have you, has anybody else in your family seen benefits from you eating this way?
100%. So I just cooked for myself because, again, it was overwhelming for me. So I just wanted to focus on me and not have to worry about the rest of the family. So they took care of themselves for the 28 days, and I just focused on preparing my own food for that 4 weeks. But like as an example, last night I was working out, and my husband came down with a gut protocol approved snack for me, just randomly out of the blue. Yeah, it was really, really awesome. So he knows I feel better when I'm eating this way. He knows how much I enjoy it. He sees the benefits, and he wanted to show me, that he sees it. And I just thought that was super cool. I almost fell down.
I told
cool.
my husband knows when I feel good, because he knows when I feel good. And but I also told him, so great. I love when you can build this up throughout your family. But I told my husband, I go, hey, I think it's sexy when you cut up vegetables for the kids. And now he'll like cut up a plate of vegetables that they can dip, like into dressing or whatever. And he'll cut up these vegetables, and he'll call, like, I'll be in the other room, and he'll like, Ashley, look what I'm doing.
You're hot.
Like, yes.
I love it. That's awesome.
Okay. So do you find,
my husband definitely took note of that.
I love it. Do you find that he is, or even your children, are they like trying different things? Because you sound like you're trying a lot of different foods than you've ever tried before, and you're kind of going out of your comfort zone and discovering and exploring different foods. Are you finding that they are also, or no?
So my kids are pretty set in their ways. So my daughter would like to be able to do this, and she does see the benefits, and she did try some of the things that I brought home, and believe it or not, she quite enjoyed it. And I believe, her being on the Shakeology would be a really good thing for her. And so we're kind of building on that now. There was a time in the 4-week gut protocol where she said, Mom, is there ever going to be a time I'm going to open up the fridge and not just see vegetables? So I'm like, honestly, I'm enjoying this, and I don't think that's ever going to change for us, because it just feels really good. There's a time and a place to have those other things, but we didn't really miss, like, I didn't really have breads or anything like that in the household because there wasn't a need for it, but nobody missed it, right? Mm-hmm. When it's there, that's when you go to your chips and your chocolate, but having the food prepared and feeling as good as you didn't want to go and get chips. You had your next meal prepared, and you went straight to it, and you never navigated from that. That's how I felt anyways. I'm sure there were people out there that did struggle and probably had a cheat day here or there, because we are human. But I guess I was just really inspired at the transformation, that it really kept me on track.
So do you think your being prepared for your next meal made a huge difference? I mean, if you're comparing week 4 to week 1, would you say that would be one of the biggest changes to help keep you on track?
Absolutely. So in my week 4, we had a derailment because COVID hit our household. Yeah. So on the Friday leading into my final week, COVID hit. So we were down and out I was down and out for about 5 days. So I wasn't eating as much food, and I certainly didn't have the energy to prepare as much. So, I didn't have the energy to even cook my kids' supper. So I was ordering takeout. I didn't consume any. I just didn't either eat, or I just grabbed something quick, like cut up vegetables. I didn't make a proper meal.
Yeah.
So once I returned back to work, like I had to do the weighing of the priority. I have to go to work, but I need to go to the grocery store because I ran out of I ran out of the gut protocol groceries. There was just no vegetables left. And I had to go to work. So I went to work and I was thinking, oh my goodness, what am I going to do today? I need to stay on track. I only have a few days left. And I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to order from this restaurant that I know can provide me with a gut protocol approved lunch and dinner. And that's what I did. I ordered the same thing for both meals. I knew the next day I was going to be able to get to the grocery store. And so then I finished off the week strong. But in that time where I wasn't consuming enough calories, essentially, I gained 2 pounds as a result.
Huh.
So once I was able to get back on track, I was able to shed those 2 pounds and finish strong. But I do believe if I didn't get COVID in that final week, my inches lost would have been even greater than that. But at the end of the day, is that really realistic? Life is life, and it is always throwing us a curveball. So I feel like that's the lesson to be had. I was super successful. I had roadblocks along the way, and I just broke right through them all. So I inspire everyone out there to continue to do that for themselves too.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And you're right. And you know what? You were sick. And so you probably had a ton of inflammation as well, just from the virus. So
Yeah.
keeping that in mind, so I am so proud of you. I just met you. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah,
really
it's been crazy. It's been awesome. So
I'm very excited to do this myself. I'm not doing it until I come home from Dominican, because we're leaving next week. So I'm going to be thinking about you the whole time I'm there, and try not to be anxious as well. I'm really excited about this. Let me ask you a question. The first week you were super nervous. I mean, you almost dropped dead, you said, even knowing that you were doing a nutrition plan. And then your first week you were anxious because you weren't ready or prepared. By week 4, things had turned around, but you got COVID. I mean, you had a lot of struggles throughout this time frame. What would you say to somebody who's nervous about starting because they know the timing isn't right?
I think people really have to look at what their desires are. What is it that you're hoping to achieve, right? And based on kind of what I've shared today, now I didn't speak so much on an unhealthy gut because I didn't really feel like I had one prior. But for those that are experiencing that on a daily basis, gas, bloating, irritable bowel, all those things that, just throw your mood off and they just throw your entire day off. Going through this gut protocol, if it could eliminate that for you potentially, or get that to a point where you're feeling better again, when you weigh out the pros and the cons, it's going to be worth, working through that hard, right?
Yeah.
It's worth it. Absolutely. And, we're all here to support one another and reach out, right? When you struggle, like, it's always best to reach out and connect with other like-minded folks that have been through a similar journey, and they'll help you, work through those difficult moments.
It's awesome.
We just got a world of support right in front of us, and don't be afraid to call upon us for that.
You're right. And she's showing it because she's here talking to us and has no, nothing connected to it. So thank you again, Kelley. And this is what I love about coaches. They are so willing to help others. And the fact that this is what got you into coaching, because you were like, you know what, other people need to feel this good, and that was prior to gut protocol. So now you're like really wanting people to feel amazing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. Thank you so much for having me. It's been great.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. We're going to go, but I just wanted to say thank you. And I also wanted to encourage anybody who's listening and you might be on the fence, just reach out to the person who got you into this group and get a price on the package that you want. We have a form to fill out. It's like an interactive form. It'll tell you which package is best for you, and let them know what you're struggling with. And here's the thing. There's a 30-day money back guarantee. Okay. So if you do this, the program's only 28 days. You could literally do the entire program, and if you're not happy, you can return it. I mean, there's really nothing that's holding you back from doing this. So that's my encouragement. Thank you so much, Kelley. I'm going to turn this off, and guys, drop some hearts for Kelley and let her know how awesome she did. So thanks, Kelley. I'll talk to you guys later.
Right on, guys. Good luck. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.